There has never been an industry so derided as the social media industry. I've never seen the response of negativity towards it because it still hasn't got that trust factor. It's a wonderful channel. There's an old adage, you count your friends on one hand. The value of friends is diminished in the digital world. The term friends and fans have a far shallower meaning. Their loyalty is just a click away to what's most popular today from yesterday. Who owned one of these? Remember the pioneering, you could take photos with a phone. The largest selling phone in the world, right? We all had one of these early on. Look, I've got a photo on my phone. I've got 10 photos on my phone. It's a male thing. Right? Who now has one of these? No, like, who still has their Nokia? Oh, good on you, not such a brand tart after all, right? Most of us are brand tarts. We were fans of Nokia, but hey, here's something new and sexy, and now I'm a fan of one of these. We just, our depth is so shallow when it comes to things like this because it's reflecting us, isn't it? Look at what I'm holding in my hand. I chaired the CEDAT conference for mobile marketing. I had a panel. 2 of them had iPads. So what did they do? They got the iPad out of the bag, the backpack, of course. Took it out of its sleeve and sat it on the desk at the panel. So what are you doing it for? Because we can. We've got iPads. You know, it had nose factor, which is fine. That's fine. It's the cachet of the brand. A brand only exists in the mind of the customer. How an individual perceives a product based on their experience with it, based on what the product says about itself and how the product or service delivers, right? It's built by usage, reputation, personal research. But what's really interesting is, and I couldn't find the research, most people make up their brand habits by the time they're 30. You decide what yogurt you're going to eat. I love the fact we've got a beer and a wine sponsor here. That's the marketing. I meant to say that earlier. It's very good. You know, who keeps changing beer every week because their 73 friends on Facebook said, wow, I've tried this beer. You know, you've got a beer you drink and you've got a repertoire of others. You've got a wine you like, you've got a yogurt you like, you've got a cereal you like, fruit you like. It's very hard to get people to change habits because we are creatures of habit. So let's take a look at real fans. Loyal customers, in fact, your fans, the people who spend the most money on your brand, spend more money on their competitors than they do on you. If you've not read this book, and I should be on a commission for Garth Holberg, I worked with him in New York at Ogilvy, All Consumers Not Created Equal. Garth tracked 15 years of scanning data through the American supermarket industry. In packaged goods and booze, for every $1 you spend in the category, brand loyal customers spend 40 cents on their favourite brand. They spend 60 on a repertoire of competitive brands. 25 cents on one, 15, you know that. You've got your favourite yogurt, but if another one's on special, you might buy some of those. Well, they don't have apricot, but I'll get strawberry this time. So in fact, your best fans, your best customers spend more on your competitors' products than yours in fast-moving goods, not cars, obviously. And this is a fact, proven by sales data, not opinions and research. So your strategy has to be, do I get more people who eat lots of yogurt and get them to spend 40 cents on mine? Or do I get them to spend 50 cents on mine and only 2 competitors? Because all customers aren't created equal. If you want to determine your fans, look at your data. We'll talk about that later. Research from eMarketer. Sorry to put a big slide of type there, but I just want to quote what I was talking about. One thing that makes social media marketing powerful is consumers trust in people like them, their friends, family, and other online peers, as if this is new. We've always trusted friends, family, and peers. We ask them, I mean, if I come to an interstate city and I want to go out for dinner, do I look up the yellow pages? Do I ask someone that I know? Where do I get good Italian? Marketers want to tap into that trust, the power of earned media by engaging conversation with consumers, but where social conversations take place has an effect on their perceived trustworthiness as well as who is taking part. And this is June 2010, percentage of US frequent social media users. So high users of media, 26% trust blogs from people they know. 23% posts by friends in Facebook, 12% Twitter, 11% blogs by brands, 9% posts by brand, fellow community members 8%. It's not very big. The level of trust is not huge. Right? Yes, somewhat, and then sitting on most of the fence sitters. Yeah, I do and I don't. It's just another thing I'll check before I go and do things. According to the Online Publishers Association, who did the research, negative feelings about social sites may also apply to the brands that advertise there. Only 8% of internet users felt social media site advertisers were reputable compared with 21% for content sites. An owned site where the publisher owns the site and publishes the content. They also felt advertising on social sites was less relevant and companies that did so were less respected. They're saying the answer to brands is to continue a greater focus on non-advertising marketing activities engaging on the social media users' terms. And marketers should remember that while loyalty to individual social properties may be on site users to satisfy the activities that have come to define social media, connecting with friends and family will remain important. And yes, it will. Connecting will remain important. Right? And here is where users talk about sites, published sites, portal channels and social media. In person, by email, over the phone, posting on a personal website, instant messaging, text messaging. Right? And on average it starts at 35 and rapidly drops off. These conversations, whether in person, however, don't make social site visitors loyal. Internet users express the least loyalty for such properties compared with portals. They're also most likely to say social sites are not a good fit for their information and entertainment needs. It's effectively digital chewing gum for the brain. So let's do an experiment. I am a failure at social media, but you always travel with a mariner who's been shipwrecked because they know where the reefs are. Right? I'm about to relaunch it again on the 1st of October. We did open this up before, didn't we? So I started twittering, and my most popular tweet was, "It's beer o'clock on a Friday, have a good weekend." So I'm following some people. Let's look at Iggy. Iggy, does anyone know Iggy Potato? Third most connected guy in Australia. He's a marketing officer, manager, and tweets 3 times a day. Half an hour at breakfast, half an hour at lunch, half an hour before he goes to bed. He's a marketing guy. 3 hours of social media is so right. A great resource if you're living in the city with a pet. Finish writing Strawberry Comms newsletter. A smile is a light in the window of the soul, indicating that the heart is at home. I really want to spend the day reading this, don't I? Here there's the CEO of a search engine optimization company, former Young Direct Marketer of the Year. The last tweet was the 26th of March. Okay. Just close that. Oh. The problem is people are confusing connections with confidence. Oh, I've got lots of connections, therefore I'm confident. Noise doesn't mean productivity in this space. Right? LinkedIn. Who is on LinkedIn? Who has been asked to refer someone on LinkedIn? Who has referred someone on LinkedIn? Yeah, it's interesting. I don't. And one of the reasons is that pitching a piece of business, and of course everyone uses LinkedIn to find out who you're connected to. And we're accused of bias because the client and I had a referral going with each other. And the agency that lost the business challenged us that we had some sort of graft and corruption because you could see on LinkedIn we were mates because we referred each other. And the business wasn't moved because management didn't want politics in that. So I don't refer anyone on LinkedIn because I don't want people to know who my secret relationships are, or my best relationships are. Why would I tell my competitors that? It's a weakness. To tell them that you've referred this person, because that tells people you're close. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it makes you feel good, I'm connected to this sort of person, but I will not refer anyone because it can work against you in business. This was given to me by John Sember here from Aussie Post. Tile Brown. Well, unleash the friends, fans and followers who've been dying to have a relationship with us. This guy's agencies, you know who Mark Sorrell is? Owns Ogilvy, Y&R, General to the biggest agency group in the world. Their clients spend more on social media than anybody else. So he knows what he's talking about. Not a media that really lends itself to commercial exploitation. When you look at the times people try to commercially exploit, it's not always fail, but often fail. Extremely powerful channels, the more you try and invade it with commercial messages, the more at risk you are. Everyone is keen, they get the hits and get the traffic, but it's difficult to monetize. Maybe intrinsically due to their personal nature to do. The other thing is that a few years ago we would have been talking about Second Life and virtual reality sites. We're not talking about that. MySpace we talked about, we're not talking about. This is the most volatile area. Twitter didn't even exist a couple of years ago. What's going to be the next thing? And what's happening is you're going to have verticals. MySpace has become a music vertical, entertainment vertical. What will Facebook become? What will Twitter become? Celebrity vertical, whatever it might be, customer service. Because now we have the new social verb of friending, the act of clicking on a link to connect to another person to your list of connections on a particular social network. Friending people has become such an automatic, non-conscious ritual that its value may be close to zero, according to some experts in my research. And the same with brand names. You may have heard about the Obama Amazo $750 million raised through social media for his election campaign. You're familiar with that case study? When Obama was elected, they built a huge base of fans. I had the privilege of interviewing his campaign manager a couple of weeks ago. They raised $750 million. Facebook was used to attract supporters to identify themselves and their issues. Twitter didn't exist at the time. It was only 3 years ago. What they did though was they created myBarackObama.com, which provided fans the opportunity to create their own website and run their own events and support programs for Obama. You could get text messages, and now they're twittering. But what was interesting was social media didn't raise $1. All it did was filter prospects. Social media was one of the channels that says, hey, if you're like us, come in here and identify yourselves and join us and go like this. The hard yards of asking for money were left to direct mail, over 20 million pieces, email over 1 billion pieces, telemarketing, and events. So social media was the channel for getting people to attract. It was part of the funnel, but it wasn't what was used to ask for money. But if you ask for money in that space, very often it's very difficult to work, particularly in politics. But it's not a social media case study where social media raised $750 million. Now, if you're interested, there is a video of it, and as you can see, it's the hottest trending video on YouTube. It's had 129 views, including 8 from my mother. Keep an eye out for it, it's going to be trending, it's going to be trending. So the point is, give your fans the tools to brag and create personal cash ads. The most narcissistic space in the world, social media, because it's all about me. Right? So give them the tools so they can get the bragging rights. Be the first to go out like this, the first to say I'm a fan, first. And you'll see why later. So where do some of your best fans come from? Right? Some of your best fans come from your most unhappy customers. You can make it. You make an unhappy customer happy, you can create a fan for life. And a long time ago, Sears discovered this, and they learned that 9 out of 10 people with a complaint don't complain. But of those that did complain, they fixed 9 out of 10. And they solved them wonderfully, and those people became huge fans because they fixed the problem. So they ran ads to say, please complain. So they started to, instead of only solving 9 problems out of 100, they solved 81 problems out of 100 and built a big fan base of people saying they're a great company, they fixed my problem. Move on to 2010. Comcast, you may have heard of Comcast. Comcast are famous because they're a cable service in the US. The Comcast guy arrived and he had to ring Comcast to get something sorted to install the cable, and he fell asleep on the couch. So the lady of the house took out a video and recorded him sleeping on the couch for 40 minutes and posted it to YouTube. And then the Twitterati attacked with all their negative comments about Comcast, and the whole thing blew up as a social media disaster for Comcast. So they instantly hired people who do nothing but sit on Twitter and Google Alerts all day as customer service people. And so what they do is it's called Comcast Cares, and they respond instantly to any negative comments or positive comments, mostly negative. And their whole customer service is now being built around Twitter because it's in real time. So it's a great case study of how to use social media for your business. So where people are complaining, they're tapping into it. It's not new, it's just different. What is interesting though is, if the call centre had worked, they may not need Twitter. The problem is call centres are designed to manage numbers of calls per body sitting there, not just hang around waiting for the calls, right? So if we know we're going to get 100 calls a week, we'll have 3 people. If we know we get 1,000 a week. So therefore there's always a continuous line banking up behind, because they don't think about the customer to their cost. So if you want to grow your fan base, improve your customer service. Because find disgruntled customers and make them happy. And that's what Comcast do. Because people are then going, wow, Comcast Ted contacted me. They fixed my problem, isn't that great? Right? So they're then retweeting positive stuff. So it's a nice way to do it. But only focus on your most likely customers. You don't want those who aren't going to buy from you. It's only those most likely to buy. You don't need everyone doing that. Because they're not going to bother anyone. I've got some more research. The common theory in regards to social media marketing by brands is that brands who socialise with consumers in online environments encourage loyalty and stimulate word of mouth.